I would say all that to just say that do your own research, follow like really what's like true to you, and also look not just like within our own little bubble. Try to
Yeah.
like, think about it globally. Kids have been on this earth forever.
Step right up, folks. You're now entering It's a Circus, where parenting isn't always a show stopping act, but it's certainly entertaining. I'm your host, Elsa, here to prove that no one really knows what they're doing, and that's perfectly fine. Let's have some real conversations, peel back the layers, and remind you that you're never alone in the madness. Let's get the show rolling. Oh my goodness. This is such a fun conversation, and one that literally I think could have gone on for hours. One, I just love Jessica's commitment to the lifestyle she wants to lead. Her kind of through line through this whole conversation is just a reminder of feeling self assured and understanding what you want. And it's absolutely beautiful to witness, as you will see through this conversation. But she is such an inspiration, so accomplished. And let me get into her bio and we'll go from there. Jessica Cummings is first and foremost a mom to a toddler going on teenager daughter and a newly turned 2-year-old race car enthusiast son, wife to her favorite travel buddy, and dog mom to her lovable lab mix. Her happiest moments are spent exploring the world with her family, discovering new places off the beaten path, soaking in local culture, and scuba diving, spot new sea creatures. When she's not adventuring, Jessica wears her professional hat as the founder of Augment Your Business and Chief Operating Officer of Revel CPA, an accounting firm for creative entrepreneurs. With experience that spans the White House, Fortune 500 companies, and scrappy startups, she now helps business owners streamline operations, embrace practical AI solutions, and scale with confidence, turning their big ideas into thriving, sustainable businesses. I cannot wait for you to meet Jessica. Here she is. Hi, Jessica. Welcome to It's a Circus Podcast. I am so happy to have you on.
Hi, I'm excited to be here.
Yes, and typically I kick us off with a question. And the question is, what are your mamahood stats? So, who are you a mom of? How long have you been a mom for? And have you always wanted to be a mother?
Okay. So I have a daughter who is 4.5. She
Mhm.
reminded us 2 days ago and to tell everyone that she's 4.5, going on probably 18. And I have a son who will be 2 in September, and it might as well be 5. So it feels like they're a lot older than they are. So let's see. I've been a mom, well, since COVID times. Um,
Okay.
and I've always knew I wanted to have kids and be a
Hmm.
mom. I'm an only child, and it wasn't like an obsession, but I knew that it was something like I felt like I would be good at.
Yeah.
And we had our firstborn really is our 8-year-old dog, uh, who like
Yes.
when we got him or when we got her name's Tony, ambiguous. Her, she was like the size of my hand, and my husband left the next day for like 3 days, and I remember, like, sleeping on the kitchen floor, like, next to her cage because I was like, "How could you put, like, puppy in, like, a crate?" Like, that kinda thing, and
Totally.
so it's like those kind of, like I don't know, I was like, "I feel like I would be good at this?" So yeah, and it was more of a question of when versus, like,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I love it. We need to unpack it all. First off, fur babies are a real thing. And like, I also have had my fair share of fur baby moments. Um, and yes, please, thank you for including that in your family lineup. There are moments when I'm always almost like, you all can like include your fur babies in this conversation. Like, I understand. So, okay, I love it. And then you're talking about when to start a family. I think that is such a big thing. So, were you guys planful for when your daughter came around, or was this something that was a surprise?
Um, yes and no.
Yeah.
So we would have been married. We're going to be married 10 years in September.
Wow. Oh my God, congrats.
Thank
Such a
you.
big number.
Such a huge number. Oh my goodness. We're actually celebrating our anniversary next weekend. We're going to go to Mexico to swim with whale sharks. But like the key thing is that it's the first time we're gonna be without our kids.
Okay. Okay, we got to talk about that.
That's like a side thing, but that's the thing
Yes,
that's getting
yes.
me nervous right now. I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, so yes and no to like planning. So we were heavily in DC.
Yeah.
Um, I was like at the White House.
Wow.
Charlie was involved in like the education policy circuit there. And this was during like the Obama Trump transition.
Okay.
And we decided, hey, like, let's take a break from like DC and politics and live abroad. And so
Oh,
the two of us, like before you knew what like work from home was, and like because our parents thought we were crazy, we decided to like pack our bags and our dog and move, and we moved to Colombia. Uh,
stop. That is the coolest thing ever. Oh my God. Okay. I need to
yeah,
understand all the reasons why. That's
yeah.
amazing.
Well, it's just like this is a great time to learn Spanish. Let's just like get
Totally.
away from like the DC life for a second,
I love
take a
that.
break and focus on us. And, we had in mind, like, we came with two suitcases each and our dog, and we're like, we're going to spend the rest of our lives in South America. And,
I mean, so romantic.
like,
Why
why
not?
not? And so, like, we both were able to find, like, jobs. I started a company where I was, like, advising startups. And, he was able to work remotely as well. So we're like, this is going to be the rest of our lives. And we lived in Colombia like about 2.5 years. And then we're like, okay, like I mostly was like, I need some beach time. Like, let's move to Mexico and like, live there. And so we were in Playa del Carmen and I got pregnant. And it
Okay.
was fun and it was exciting. We had, we were one of those couples where like I feel like people were like in the honeymoon period like for the first 2 years and they talked about this bliss and then it would kind of go. Charlie and I we've never like we didn't really have that honeymoon period. It was just like always like we were friends and like let's just go. And we were very independent and
Hmm.
we knew that we kind of wanted to explore like who we were individually and as a couple before having kids.
Hmm.
And especially like with the move, we were like, it wasn't something that crossed our minds, but it was
Hmm.
always in the back of my mind because I'm like, I'm getting older. But
Right.
like,
Sure.
it wasn't like we were both not like, let's do it, right?
Hmm.
But like in Mexico, in Playa, like so romantic. Like we had like
So
the best
romantic.
time. And so 3 months pregnant, and what happens? The world falls apart because of COVID.
Oh my gosh. And
Oh,
you were in Playa.
Playa del Carmen, and it was like, do we give birth in Mexico? Like, clearly, people give birth in Mexico. That's not an issue.
Absolutely. Yep.
Or do we, go back to the United States? And it was actually it was a tough question because at that time, like, we would hear in the news, like, people are like, running through grocery stores, like, trying to steal meat off the shelf. And, like, there were, like, riots happening. There were people marching on different capital. Like, there was, like, lots going on. And then there was COVID. And we're like, do we want to go back to the United States? Versus Mexico, which, like, you go into this grocery store and there were like masks. Everyone was like, it seemed orderly, but there was still like military on the road to like keep, so it was just like what, like both situations are kind of weird for us. And
Yeah.
then ultimately we were like, we don't know if Mexico will close its borders. And
Oh,
the
sure.
worst
Yeah.
thing would be to like be stuck and not have the option. And
Sure.
we love the United States. Our families in the United States. We're like,
Hmm.
no matter what's going on, like we'll be safe. We'll find the right place. And
Hmm.
so we were like, where in the United States would people like it just like reflect more of our values, and a
Yeah.
safe place to have kids. So we moved to Boston. We're like Cambridge, like that seems like a good spot. You got the Harvard people, you got like,
Totally.
around us that like seem like they reflect what we're thinking. And so we moved in 2020 um,
Wow.
to have our baby. And yeah, we gave birth in Boston.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what a story. And I just want to like shout you out. Like, thank you so much for just making the move. I think a lot of people like consider it like, oh, this would be so cool, but you did the thing. So, very awesome. Also, Colombia, Mexico. I have been randomly.
Okay.
I have been to Colombia twice in 1 year this past year.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Uh, yeah, to
Okay.
Cartagena and
Okay.
then Medellin, which
Yeah.
both were amazing,
Yeah, we lived in
incredible.
Medellin. Yeah, and then yeah, Cartagena, the Caribbean coast is I would live there.
Holy cow. Holy cow. And Medellin was like stunning. I couldn't even believe, like, it didn't even feel like real.
I know. I know. It's
It's
like
gorgeous.
annual primavera, which is spring, like all spring all
Yes.
year round, and the people are so sweet, and yeah.
Oh, such a cool thing. And then headed to Mexico. So, amazing. And then, okay, so you're pregnant and you're moving at the same time and it's the pandemic and you're making these big changes and decisions while growing your baby. Talk to me about that. Like, did you feel good pregnant? What was like the whole vibe during that time?
Yeah, it was actually I don't know. I'm a very how should I say it? Like I think my husband, like obviously, like COVID was an awful time. Like I'm saying, it's like in the past. It's still around, but that
Right.
time was like very. It's filled with the stressors for sure. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
pregnant. We're traveling. Like,
Right.
can I get this? I remember like landing in an airport. We had to do a from Mexico, we had to land in an airport in the United States. And that airport, like, there were so many people around. Like, I was like, wait, no one was wearing any mask. Like, and I'm pregnant, and I'm like, this is our, we haven't been in the United States for like close to 3 years. And I thought there was an epidemic, and why is everyone just like, it didn't seem like protected. And so, like, that kind of thing would stress me out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when we got to Boston, we didn't really, my husband's brother was at MIT getting a PhD.
Okay.
So him and his family were there. So that was nice. And then we had like another friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when we got settled, it wasn't really stressful because we're both like introverted extroverts.
Yeah.
Like we're both fine being at home. We both work
Mm-hmm.
from home, and
Mm-hmm.
my husband was so attentive because he
Mm.
had nowhere to go, right? And
Yeah.
so, like, just like very blissful pregnancy. Like, husband makes food, like, he lets me rest. Like, we would go see our friends in the tundra of Boston, like,
Mm-hmm.
on the weekends, like, for a hike. So we were like still very active, and I was pregnant. So that at that time, I was like, the big stress was, am I going to fall down this mountain as we're like hiking because I'm pregnant, but we need to get outside. But it was kind of like, it sounds crazy, but it was kind of a calm for us because there were
Mm-hmm.
there were no social pressures. There were nothing, we didn't feel like we needed to get out and about. But the stress for me was like I thought, how hard it is as adults to make friends. For me,
Yes.
one of my worries was I'm like, well, how will I make friends? Like when I do have a daughter, like I
Mm-hmm.
always thought like, I'd meet mom friends
Of
and
course.
that's something I wasn't able to do. And so at that point, as soon as like as I was getting more and more pregnant and closer to the due date, that's probably the thing that was on my mind the most. Like, well, how will I meet people in this country I haven't been to, in the state, in the city that I've never been, so
My God,
yeah.
I love it. I love it. And yes, it is. It's such a like one hard thing to do. I also moved while I was pregnant. We moved from LA to Austin, and um, and then had two babies back to back. So basically, our like Austin vibe was just like producing children, and so like we just like lived in that bubble, and it was so for me the experience was so isolating. And I mean, I think we had like Halloween and we just like stood out there and I like met every single trick-or-treater mom that I could like get my hands on to be like, "Hi, I'm Elsa. I'm new here. Like, where do you live in the neighborhood? Awesome. I'll stop by." Like, I was insane for those same exact reasons where you're like, we are seeking community, especially in a moment of transition. And yes, sounds like you were kind of in the same spot. Tell me about, like, did you end up getting to make mom friends, or what was that whole experience like? And did you have culture shock? Were you like surprised once you were back?
Yeah, so again, like 2020, it was still very isolating. My daughter was born in January 2021. It's like
So in the
winter, it's
dead of
dark,
winter, oh my God.
like nothing was happening. And it was, we ended up making some friends through friends, and that was
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
Um, and again, it's still kind of isolating because work from home. And then we're also in a college town. So like the people around us were not, kids were not top of mind. They were just thinking about graduating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so it was, we were like in a like it's so expensive in Boston.
Yep.
Like the place we were in was like too small for us, and it wasn't the vibe that we were looking for. Again, we wanted that more family feel, but we did want more. We wanted, because of DC, we still wanted city.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we felt like it wasn't the right place for us. And
Mm-hmm.
so we actually moved to Baltimore, which is where I am now.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
we had actually gotten married in Baltimore. My
Mm.
husband, his father went to Hopkins, and so like was a Orioles baseball fan like his entire
Cool.
life. And we
Yeah.
had actually gotten married here when we were living in DC. And so we were like, okay, we'll explore. We'll come down. And we came down with a real estate agent, and he showed us different neighborhoods. And we chose, and we thought we might like it just because we couldn't agree on anywhere, like places to live. Like we're like, this city's too big, this city's too small. Like,
Yep.
we're a mixed couple. We're like, we don't know if that will vibe in different places. Like, so it
Right.
was like very hard to find a place. And we have this baby, right? And so we came down to Baltimore, and we were looking in different neighborhoods, and then we found one where it's like everyone had like a dog and like a baby in a stroller, a dog in a stroller, or a baby and a dog, and we're in a stroller. We're like, what is this place? Like, why are they all in strollers? Anyways, and it was just like a very family. Like everyone had kids,
Mm-hmm.
everyone had
Mm-hmm.
pets, everyone looked happy, and there was like this park, and we're like, we want to live here. So we moved here, and it was still like it was late fall. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think probably in lots of places, but like as soon as it starts getting dark early, like it's just hard to like meet people in general.
Of
But there are a
course.
lot of there are a lot of because we live next to this park, there are a lot of and there are a lot of families. There were like story times in the park and like different things. And so I would take my daughter to like every single thing. And that's when I started to, develop friendships,
Mm.
for sure.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love that. And sometimes you're right. Sometimes you have to like put on, try a place out and then determine like, hey, this isn't for us, and then find that next great place. So
Right.
incredible. Again, moving across country, just you thriving,
Right.
doing the most.
Hi.
Okay, so you have a little one. How was your birth? And were you someone that like had a birth plan? Like what was your whole philosophy around that?
Yeah, so by nature, my husband and I are very type A, like project planners. Like we have financial strategy meetings, like we do things with spreadsheets, like we have calendar invites for each other and communicate on WhatsApp, even though he's in the same house and work from home. So, as one could imagine, I definitely did have a birth plan. I actually did, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on what it's called. It's like, mindful birthing? No. What's the one? It's like a combination of like mindfulness and like it has like yoga mentalities, you know? Oh my gosh.
Amazing. I mean, I feel like I have heard of something like this, but I have no idea what the name is.
Totally blame. I blame my memory still on mom brain. But anyway, um, it was like I had taken these courses
Hmm.
with my friend. She was actually in Austin,
Hmm.
and it was like a course in LA.
Oh,
And we did it virtually, which was also
cool.
weird.
Yeah.
Um, and but it was all about like mindfulness when it comes to breathing and birth and just like listening to yourself and like kind of anti like medical devices and like
Yep.
surgery and like all
Hmm.
that stuff. Um, and it really helped me because there's so many pressures, so many people telling you about birth, what to expect. And for
Hmm.
me and everything I do, like I think I'm very good at blocking out like noise and really
Yeah.
like listening to myself. So this type of birthing was really important to me. And it's like things like I feel like in movies, like they're always like, you have to do these breaths and these, and like you push and push and push. And like part of this was like, do not push, like, do not say the word push, do not say like words that you don't want. And so
I
that's the
love that.
hospital I went to was all about it too. And so, like, I was in, like, I had like music and it was like, a dimly lit room and like my husband's feeding me like ice chips and it was like very calming and like that's how like that was it. And so um my birth was a little irregular. Like my doctor
Hmm.
said I had the Hollywood birth where I like my water broke first, usually like
Hmm.
contractions happen. And so like I'm sitting at home and like one day I come to the hospital, my water's broken. And then I came and yeah, like I think it's hard for me to remember that birth because I've had my second child, but like
Yeah.
from what I remember, it was pretty good. Pretty good. There was one thing. My doctor, they did not let her know somehow that I was giving
Oh
birth, and she
no.
wasn't
Okay.
at the hospital. She was like a private practice. And she came at the very last minute. Like we had a male, so I had all these things in my plan, like, a female doctor. I didn't want this. I didn't
Hmm.
want to. At the end of the day, my doctor wasn't there. Like probably five things on my plan didn't happen. We have
Of
this
course.
new male doctor, OBGYN. But he was from Chile and
Hmm.
my brother lived in Chile and we like started speaking in Spanish and
Hmm.
so it was like nice and he got us prepped and then when I gave birth, my doctor came in like literally to catch the baby. So she was there at the end. But of course, it's like you cannot plan. Like I had some of
No.
the things, but the other things were not. But
No. Yeah, I know. That's the thing with birth. It's kind of like the ultimate like here you go. Here's your first taste of motherhood. You can't plan anything and then just go for it.
yeah,
Oh, that sounds crazy and amazing. But it sounds wonderful. It sounds like it was like a good positive experience, which I think is
yeah.
important to share. Yeah. How okay, so you're working, I want to understand from your point of view, like clue us into did you have mat leave? Did you plan time for yourself off? Where were you career wise and how did you kind of put the two together, having this baby and then supporting your career?
Yeah, so for my first one, I was working remotely,
Mm-hmm.
and I was basically the COO of this digital marketing firm. It was a
Mm-hmm.
director of operations, but it was the same kind of thing. I'm
Mm-hmm.
reporting to the CEO. And so I had a lot of responsibility, and it was because it was remote and because of the nature of digital marketing, I was like the second oldest next to the CEO. We're the only ones that had kids. Everyone else was
Oh
like
yeah.
like they were in their like early 20s,
Yeah.
and then the rest were remote. And so, which is a whole different lifestyle, right? Because they're like, if they have kids, they take off a year and like they're
Yeah.
like fine. But for me, I had to kind of establish my own plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did it was a traditional like 3 months US, where you only get paid two-thirds and like all that stuff. Um, and it was, I like thinking about it, I was ready, I think, towards those 3 months to come back. So I think it was for me, a good period of time. And I
Mm-hmm.
was grateful that I was, being a
Mm-hmm.
leader at the organization, and I did have flexibility, and I was the first one. But there was still like unknowns that I had to battle there, and but for what it was worth, it was okay. I got
Yeah.
what I.
Yeah. How was the transition back? Was it something like tough or did you feel ready to go?
Yeah, again, like it's like when I say it out loud, I feel like it seems just super positive all the time, but we really were blessed with it wasn't, but we really were blessed with things that like kind of naturally fell into place. And so
Yeah.
one thing for me, of course, was finding a
Mm.
nanny that could be in our home, that was just like warm. And we always, like, in my head, I had always wanted like what I call it, like an abuela, like a grandma, like a someone Latin American who can like speak only Spanish,
Hmm.
who is older in age, who like could be a part of our family, would cook us some food sometimes. And so, I went on one of those like babysitter apps, and kind of stumbled across this woman from Venezuela. And she had like two grown kids, and who, they were in their late 20s. And so she was just like, and she didn't really need the money, but she wanted extra money. And she was just a part of our family. And like, again, my husband and I work from home. And so,
Hmm.
like, I think that also, like, knowing that I'm right there, um,
Hmm.
and he's here, and like, so she took care of my daughter, and it was great, until we moved, and we were both
Hmm.
crying. I'm like, can you come with us? Like, and so that ended the bliss of like, easy childcare, because when we got to Baltimore, it was like a lot more challenging. Yeah,
I
but in
think,
the initial times, it was pretty good.
oh, that is incredible. I think something that I am so curious. I mean, that's honestly why we have this podcast. But one of the things that I love to talk about is people's care plan because it's so crazy that that has to be a part of your life, whether you're continuing on with your career or pausing your career. There is an element of care that still has to be talked about and planned for. And so I think that's such a curious thing for people to get into. And so tell me about finding care in Baltimore and what did you do? Especially for like people that are moving into a new city, I know that can be really challenging.
Oh my gosh. So, so challenging.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, it was hard. When we came to Baltimore, had to start the plan all over again. And this is my daughter. My son's experience is like more awful, I feel.
Okay.
But again, I think we had these strict like standards for ourselves, when it came to the type of care. And again, still wanted like, abuela, still wanted a grandmother type, and so really had to narrow our search. And we found a woman and she was fine. But like at that time we had like these high standards. And
Mhm.
it just wasn't the same. It wasn't, and
Mhm.
because I didn't know her that well, and this is my firstborn, I was like, I don't know if I want my child to leave my house. And I'm not even like I'm not, when I'm an A personality, it doesn't mean like I'm a micromanager. Like my idea is just like I trust you, you can go off and do things, and then like if you need me, let me know. But it's not like I'm hovering like in the
Yeah.
living room when things are happening. But like for this person, because we were in a new city, and didn't really know about the neighborhood too much, it's just like it was just it was more stressful. It was more
Mhm.
stressful. Um, and then she like had a, because she was older, she also had, this surgery, and then she had to leave. And then
Oh
we had
man.
to find another person. And I don't even want to go into the details of that, but it was just not a good situation. And thank God, this one of the schools in the area that we were looking at, they found like my daughter was supposed to go earlier, or later, like when she turned 2.
Mhm.
Um, but they had an opening at 18 months and we're like, okay, like
We're taking it.
could be better.
Yeah.
Right. Even though
Yeah.
that's a whole another nerve-wracking thing. I'm like, my daughter's not going to be in the house with me.
I know.
Another thing. Yeah.
Ugh, I know. It's so hard. We both work from home, and with our first, that was my dream. I like had wanted to do a nanny. And I also couldn't find one. And then we started looking at daycares, which I was like, before kids, I was like, no way. And then we found these like amazing options. And we were so much better having our kid outside the home when we were working from home than having the kid in the home while we were home. It was like such a game changer.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And like, even though it was like little things that I felt like I needed to do. So for instance, like, and again, I had a more flexible schedule, right? My
Mm-hmm.
husband does too. So like I was like, I want to be the one that makes lunches for my
Mm-hmm.
kids. And like, so I would go down and make lunch and in the middle of the day, and rather than have the
Cute.
nanny do it, and like things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, or like at 5, like I got the child, but like
Yeah.
now the kids they go to like a Montessori around the corner. It's just like,
Yeah.
I don't have to just stay in my office, and like I can go downstairs, and like I'm
Right.
not tiptoeing around the house. And my husband and I don't want like are in meetings, like we can eat at 1. Like I don't need to stop at
Right.
12. And so
Right.
like the little things like that, the little wins that like, I think I didn't really appreciate until I had
Mm-hmm.
them, or
Yeah.
like, I have to work a little past 5, and knowing that like I can go get them at 5:15 or 5:30, they'll
Right.
be okay.
Right.
You it helps.
Oh, that's good. Okay. So you guys are living in Baltimore. And when do you decide that number two is an option or something that you guys are ready for? What is that conversation like, and how did you make that decision?
Yeah. So I'm the only child, and
Yeah.
my husband is one of 4. He's the eldest of 4.
Okay.
And I always like I love being an only child. Like I grew up traveling. My parents were diplomats. Like I
Mm-hmm.
appreciated knowing that like we probably couldn't do as many things, if I had siblings. And so I appreciated that. But I also knew, especially now as I'm older, like I would have loved to have a sibling to like talk to, be like, my parents are getting older. Like, let's do it.
Totally.
Or just like a friend, that like is
Mm-hmm.
always there. We travel so much that like,
Mm-hmm.
my friends are all around the world. It'd be nice to just have someone I can rely on. And so, thinking about that, and then thinking about like how close my husband, sibling, like they're,
Mm-hmm.
they're family too. Our families get along really well. Um, and because of that, I was like, our child definitely needs to have a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it was hard because I'm like, I have a girl, like she's my everything, like
Yeah.
love another child, like how be possible. But eventually we decided to have one.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, so we got pregnant, and it was right when everything started opening up. Like everyone had a wedding. So this
Oh,
must have been in
sure.
like
Sure.
22. Yeah,
Right, right.
22.
Yes.
Right? We went to 5 weddings
Stop it.
and back to back all over the world. It was like with my daughter. So there was like St.
Wow.
Louis, Turkey, where else? Savannah, Georgia. There was one in Hawaii, like there was one in Connecticut, like all these
Oh my
weddings.
gosh.
And I was a maid of honor. And
Mm.
my best friends, she's the one that got married in Turkey. And I got pregnant. Found out. Okay, so this was okay. Take a step back. So this is 2021. My daughter, or 2022, my
Mm-hmm.
daughter no longer breastfeeding after a year. Like
Congrats, mama.
sleeping in her own room,
Mm-hmm.
freedom time.
Okay. Love it.
Like all these weddings, like had my first had been isolated all this time, and then my best friend has her bachelorette in Miami, so I
Oh,
left my
fun.
daughter for the first time,
Ugh.
but it felt great. It was sad, but also felt great.
Yeah.
And this was the time where like we're big into baseball. Like we went to opening day. Like I'm drinking for the first time in like over a year, whatever. Found out I was pregnant. And like deep into it was like 13 weeks or something.
What?
I was like, I'm still like kind of still breastfeeding. I don't understand. Didn't even know. Had all these weddings, like I was supposed to be it. And like in my head, I'm like, this is like my freedom time, right?
Right.
Found out I was pregnant with twins.
What? Oh my
Twins.
gosh. Okay.
And so it was like this very bittersweet moment,
Mm-hmm.
where it's just like I'm so like joyful because I have kids, and then also like we just bought a house, we just bought a car, we that like none of
Yeah.
this fits, right? We
Right.
only have one at this time. Like, what are we gonna do? All these weddings, and it was like debating, like, am I being a selfish human to like
Mm-hmm.
to keep things normal, or should I be like I'm a mother and like all those expectations, and like should
I
I be
know.
and at the end of the day, I did not have to make a decision. I miscarried, um, which was awful. Like 2 days before I'm supposed to fly out for all the cycles of weddings. And like I went to the doctor, and she's like, yeah, there's nothing there. And it was just like, and just the way that I am, the way that my husband is, we're very like everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
God didn't want
Mm-hmm. Of
this, or it's just like something internal was just like
course.
if I'm already having these like mixed feelings, like maybe it's not the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's what I believe. And it was like it was awful. It was, so much was going on. Literally getting on a plane 2 days later. But then at the end of the day, it was like we felt right about it. Um, we had like I ended up, having the babies come out like they're and
Oh my gosh.
we like saved them, I guess,
Okay.
and but we literally were on a plane 2 days later, so we had to like, do like a quick, I don't know, mini funeral kind of thing with them,
Yeah.
And it was just like our lives were so go, go, go. I like never even had a chance to think about it. Long story short, we go through all these weddings. I'm still bleeding. It's like
Oh no.
I'm still bleeding. Like not sure what's going on. Um I have a nurse that's like, this is like, this happened in May. It's August now, like been like nonstop. We're like, what is going on? Um, and the doctor is like, or the nurse is like, well, you need to go in for surgery, but you might like there, the dangers, we might cut your ovary or like like whatever it is, like we
Oh
might,
no.
and I'm like, no, like absolutely not. Like there has to be another way. Because it's like still in there, like obviously they're not viable, like we need to get it out. Like how do we, whatever. So we talked to this other doctor and she was like, take this pill, and just try again to get it out. And like just do that first before, and luckily I took whatever this pill is, and I was able to, finally able to flush everything out. And I was like whole again. But this was like 4 months later at this point. And so I'm just like, will I get pregnant? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening? My body's been through like so much. And then we continued to try without the
Mhm.
pressure of it, just being like my body's like healing itself. And then we actually conceived on Christmas.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was that one.
Oh.
Let me tell you that story. I always have stories. So
Oh,
like
we're here for all the stories, please.
so we had planned to live in Mexico with my daughter for 2 months
Okay.
um that year. So this is 2023. And we're supposed to move to Mexico in January, and I'm pregnant a month before. I mean, a week before we're supposed to leave.
Oh my God.
Of course. And I'm like, once again, we're supposed to have this like blissful time, and I'm pregnant. But this time, I'm like really excited about it. Like, who cares about
Hmm.
margaritas? Like, I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
Yeah.
In Mexico, have this awful experience. It's like totally different than we want the same.
No.
Myrtle Carmen thought we're gonna have this blissful life. And with a child, it's so different. Like,
Yeah.
we have to literally bike 30 minutes to take her to this Montessori school in Mexico. Like, I'm pregnant. It is hot outside. Um, I get food poisoning.
Oh, Jessica.
I get food poisoning.
And
I'm just like,
how far along are you?
this like 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh,
And I'm just like, it's done. Like I like how like sick, so sick. I'm
oh my God.
pregnant. It's too early to like I hadn't gone to the doctor, like because it was too
Hmm.
early for all that in the States. And I think it's like 6 weeks. I'm just like, okay, like I just need to know, if this baby is alive. I know it's a little bit early, but like I just have to go. And the good thing about being in Mexico, I mean, I don't know about other countries when about this, but like they're just like on this like you can just go, right? You don't need
Hmm.
health. You can just like knock on the door and then so I go and I'm already nervous because it seems a little soon to be getting ultrasounds, but I'm just like, what's the alternative? Like have this like stress that I have like this child is no longer viable because, I have food poisoning. I go in, the man like laughs at my face. He's like
What?
he's like, you have food poisoning. He's like, it's not going to impact your child. And I'm like, have you been to the United States where everyone's scared of
Seriously. Don't eat sushi. Don't eat at a weird place. Do not have like anything. Don't eat
anything?
lunch meat. Yes.
Exactly. I'm like, like, what are you talking about? Like, what? And he like literally laughs in my face. He's like, your baby's fine. You have food poisoning. Like, you'll be fine. Like, like get over yourself, essentially.
What?
Um, and he gave me peace of mind, and my son is perfectly fine.
Stop. Oh my
Exactly.
God.
And I gave birth in September of that year. But like, oh my gosh, like I literally like I thought it was done. I thought it was I I didn't know what to do.
Okay. I want to unpack a few things, okay? Because that's crazy. Um, thank God he gave you peace of mind. But oh my God, that had to have been absolutely awful. Um, okay, I want to go back to the miscarriage with the twins.
Yeah.
How far along were you?
I think I was like around 13
Wow.
weeks. 13 or yeah, 15. Yeah. 13 to 15 weeks, I think. Yeah.
Okay. 13 to 15 weeks. I mean, you're far enough along to have, planned for. Have you told people yet? Was that something that you kept private? Where were you at?
Yeah, I kept it private a lot because one, I had all this guilt. I had this
Mm,
guilt that I was either like, even if the babies, were born, like I would have damaged them somehow.
mhm,
Because I didn't know I was pregnant. And
mhm,
it's very strange for me because my cycle, like 28 days, like I know whatever. But because I had
mhm,
been breastfeeding for like a little over a year, like I just didn't think I was getting, I was pregnant.
mhm,
I like checked and like, it just didn't,
mhm.
and like I said, I think for me, like it was like opening day, like it was the first
Right.
time, like
Right.
we went, my husband and I, we scootered to the stadium. We had like our day, we had so much fun.
Yeah.
And that was like in the back of my mind. I was just like, I think I probably drank too much that day and like we're done.
Mhm,
And the
mhm.
doctors were like, you'll be fine. Like, people
Yeah.
drink during pregnancy, or like
Yes.
like one was like, I gave like these people that were on drugs gave birth and their kids,
Right.
like all these things. But
Right.
in my head, I'm just like, I was so careful with my daughter, like so
Yeah.
careful. Like I never drank. I like didn't eat
Yeah.
the first one. And so like, because we're planners, but like the
Yeah.
fact that we plan these two, in my head, it was just like, what have I done? Like I've messed
Ugh.
these kids up. Like they're going to have some type of issues, and when that happens, like I'm gonna never forgive myself. And
Mhm.
so like I was just like, I hadn't I just didn't, it wasn't because of that stress. I just didn't want to share, right? I was just like, I
Right.
want to know that they're healthy and fine before I tell anyone.
Wow.
So yeah.
And then one, thank you for sharing. I think miscarriage is something that we don't talk a lot about, and it's so 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 common.
Mhm.
And any type of sharing is just an invitation for somebody else to feel like they're not alone. So thank you for that. And then for you, that far along, were you able to grieve? I know you had like 2 days before your wedding tour of the year, but
Yep.
like talk us through that a little bit, because I'm sure it was shocking. And then, you're trying to close that chapter and move on. Just talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think I had time to grieve.
Yeah.
I tell you, I had to jump on a plane. It was like flew to St. Louis weekend, then that so like flew on Friday. I think the wedding was like on a Saturday or Sunday, and then flew to Turkey like that Monday for a
Oh
2-week
my
wedding,
Lord.
for like a huge, huge wedding. It was like a 4-day wedding, where I'm the maid of honor, and it's just like this insane wedding. And then after that, literally had another wedding to go to in like Colorado. I didn't even remember the Colorado one. So, right. And so, it was good. It was kind of, I think, good for me to not
Yeah.
have to think about it. Again, still like bleeding randomly. So that was
Yep.
just, that reminder. Luckily, I wasn't in any pain or anything. And I had his daughter, right? And like for
Right.
me, like there is someone
Right.
already here. Like I need to take
Right.
her. So in addition to all the fun social things, like I still have a human who I love and my husband, but that I
Yeah.
need Spain, and so I
Yeah.
think putting all my energy in her, and then our travels, we like traveled, even when we were in Turkey, we spent 2 weeks abroad. So we were in Greece and Turkey with
Hmm.
my daughter. And so it was kind of, these 2 to 3 months of just go, 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 go. And then it really hit me when I got back and settled, when I was just like, okay, I really need to take care of my body. Like, what is
Yeah.
going on here? But I don't know. I think it was kind of good for me not to have like this like time where I just had to like think about it all the time.
Right. Right. You kind of had to jump back into life and keep moving. Um, when you got back, and it sounds like you had to advocate for yourself to find an alternative to stop the bleeding. Can you like tell us about that?
Yeah. So I think I've been very good about advocating for myself in all different areas of my life.
Hmm.
Like when it comes to work and my salary,
Hmm.
like I'm the kind of person that's like, this is what I deserve and I need to get it, right? And you need to work with me to get it this way. And if someone tells me something that I think is kind of awkward or doesn't really fit, I will go and seek another opinion. And
I
so
love that.
when it comes to, I think the medical system,
Hmm.
um, we have to advocate for ourselves as women.
Hmm.
And like I had this nurse who literally was just like, no, you have to get this surgery. No, you have to get this surgery. No, you have to get this surgery. There's no other way. There's no other way. And I was like, absolutely not. There is another way. Like, I am not going to
Hmm.
risk like the future, like having future children because of what like
Mm.
I have to, and I was like, let me talk to someone at the actual hospital. And I talked to this OBGYN, female, like mother. She would have been the person to do it. And she was like, no, like you don't have to do this as a first, like take this pill
Hmm.
again. Like take it
Hmm.
like once or twice and like after that like let's see what happens. Like your first choice is not surgery. And I don't think a
Yeah.
lot of people, especially in the medical system, will tell you that.
Hmm.
And it's very similar like for my son. My son's story is like like I said, I'm very good with like knowing my body, like cycle, like other than the twins. I don't know how that happened, but usually I'm good with my body.
Right.
And for my son, I'm pregnant. It's about I think like 38 weeks, and I feel like my water's broken again before contractions. And it's weird because there was no like TMI, like no liquid or anything, but I just felt like in the middle of the night, I just like felt like there was like this liquid. And I wait because again, like water breaks first, so you gotta wait. I wait
Hmm.
till I hear
Hmm.
back from my doctor, which is like a whole like 12 hours later, at like 4 p.m. And she's like, well, it's been a long time. You should go to the doctor. I go to the doctor.
And no
And
contractions, right? But you just feel like your water broke. Okay.
I just feel like my water broke. We're in the hospital. My husband's with me. You know, I think like my daughter's in like still at school at this point.
Yeah.
You know, he leaves because we're there for a while and we're like, well, what's going on? They were like, well, your water hasn't broken. Like, don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't find like we can't get a heart like we it wasn't that they couldn't find a heartbeat. It's just that they couldn't the baby like something was the baby was moving too much or something that they couldn't actually like monitor the baby. And that like
Mm-hmm.
really worried them. And they're like, you're gonna have a baby tomorrow. I was like, wait, what? And they're like, I think something happened where either I still don't really know. I feel like I was just like in this like mental haze, but they were like, whatever it is, like it's best that you have the baby tomorrow. He's healthy, he's fine. Like, let's just work on it. And so did not leave, right? And my husband goes home. And sitting there all night and there's trying to, monitor and can't. And again, I have a birth plan. I had this whole thing, nothing is happening according to plan. Um, of course.
Of
But
course.
but I did have the plan in a place where like they were side story. They like this hospital is so good. It was like it's called Mercy. They put like little lights in
Mm-hmm.
my room and
Aw.
like music and they made it like as like comfortable once again as possible. But
Yeah.
anyways, um I have okay, so I what was happening? So the baby they're trying to induce me.
Mm-hmm.
And this baby like contractions are just not it's just not happening. And they're like, we
Mm-hmm.
need this baby to, start doing something. They're like, okay, we need to prepare you for a C-section. I'm like, I'm not getting a C-section. I do not want a C-section. They're like, well, let's prep, like, you're gonna have to take
Just in
fertility
case.
treatment. Yeah,
Okay.
like do all the
Yep.
things. And I was like, I really don't this time I was like, I really did not want to what's the word I'm looking for? Not Pitocin, but what's the thing that you get in your back to
Oh, the
keep
epidural. The
the
epidural.
epidural. I was like, well, my first child, I didn't want the epidural. I ended up getting one. This one, I think I was more inclined to do it because I was like, you know what? That's fine. No pain is fine.
Yeah.
But there was something where it was like, I didn't want it until the last minute. And they're like, well,
Sure.
if you, something like if you don't get it, then if we have to do C-section, it was just like all this drama. And they were like, C-section, C-section, C-section. And I was like, no, no, no. Like I wanted
Mm-hmm.
natural, I wanted natural birth. And like the amount of people that was just like coming at me, like, you're going to have to do that. And I was like, no, like my body will like just give me to like the last possible moment. Like I trust my body, the baby's coming out. And like, it's not like I have anything like, to each your own. Like I know people like plan C-sections, like
Yeah.
that's the way. But for
Right.
me, I just wanted another natural birth. And I knew my body could do it. Like I just knew it could. And that's what I mean. Going back to the advocacy thing, it's just like I like you have to trust your own self. You have to
Right.
really listen to yourself. And yes, there's a risk, right? That like you can be
Mm-hmm.
wrong. Like
Of
I had such
course.
a strong feeling. And I was
Mm-hmm.
at a hospital. Like,
Right.
the scenario, like they're still there. And long story short, all of a sudden, like people had left my room. I was there by myself talking to my friend on the phone. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God. Like I was like, I have to poop. Like I have to. And she was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I just have the sensation. I have to do it. And she's like, what? She was like, I think you're having a baby. And I was like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? She was like, I'll call your husband. You get the doctors. Like,
Oh
go,
my
go,
God.
think like you're having a child. And so, my husband's not there. Like, he's at the playground with my daughter because I was just like, I just need her to be taken care of, like, whatever. Luckily, my mom's also at my house.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, the doctors finally come in. I'm telling them like this, and they're like, no, you definitely are going to have a baby. And I was like, my husband's not here. He comes in at the first push. The baby was out at the second push.
That is crazy. So, wait, were you feeling like contractions? And how were you on the phone talking?
Right. I was like, when I tell you I'm like hanging off the bed, like in all these weird positions, like, oh my God, no one was there. And I was like, and you know why? Because my son was born around Labor Day. And in
Mm.
the hospital, I think they said there was something like or like 15, like between 8 and 15 births at the same time. So no one
Oh my
was
God.
there. But I am like sitting here like I don't even, I don't even think the contractions were there. It was just like they
Baby
were
was
there
ready.
all. It was insane. But like again, the baby came out in 2 pushes. I did not need a surgery. Like the baby just wanted to come out when the baby wanted to come out. And he
Oh
came out
my God.
strong.
Oh my God. That is seriously crazy. That is insane.
Insane.
What a story. Oh my God, I'm sure you will, but like you have to tell him this all the time. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like still like,
Personality.
what? I mean, one, I cannot imagine talking, just first off. You're just like on the phone. And then, yes, that sensation right before baby comes. That's exactly what it is. That's wild.
It's crazy. And it's just like it was such a different experience to my other one that
Yeah.
like I didn't know what was happening. And I don't even have time to breathe because the baby was like something was happening. And I did feel like this like such pressure. And I was just like, and because no one was there, I was like, and all these like hanging off the bed, like try to like move, get out of the bed, like probably all the things you shouldn't be doing. And like, oh my gosh, it was it was fun.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have to ask you this question. Are you guys gonna try for number three?
No. No, no,
No.
no. No. Like, so I have a girl, I have a boy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was never like one to think about those things, but like now that I
Mm-hmm.
have both, I'm like, we're fine. And then also it's
Mm-hmm.
just like those little moments. They're both like, still young and like they fight over my lap. And I'm like, I have 2 legs. You can sit one on one leg, one on the other leg. I have like, my husband was such a good partner and like really took my daughter a lot of the time. So they
Mm-hmm.
formed this own bond, while I was able to still have
Mm-hmm.
that kind of baby experience with my son. And it's just like how I don't like so many people have, I don't know anyone that has more than two, like my close friends, they all have two or just one. But
Right.
like, I just can't imagine like where are they gonna go? Like,
I know
where
exactly.
go? And we're just so busy. And it's just like, I think 2 is just the perfect number, and I just need to concentrate. Like, we always do too much, and, like, with kids, we're like, we're good.
Yeah, you don't need to be extra here. Like we've got it.
We've got it. We've got it.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, Jessica, that's wild and such a crazy story. I hope you always tell him that. What a hilarious, amazing story for him. Okay, so tell me, because you were in Mexico, you got food poisoning. When did you guys decide to come back to the States and
Yeah.
you moved back to Baltimore?
Yeah, we moved back to
Yeah.
Baltimore because it was only temporary. We
Yeah.
just wanted to experiment with like, we
Okay.
love living abroad, and I grew
Yeah.
up abroad.
Yeah.
And for most of the time, and we wanted to give, it's been huge for me to give my children that experience of travel, living abroad,
Mhm.
things like that. And so we're always like thinking about where we'd live. And we went there, and like I said, it was just such a different experience with kids. It was like just like when you say like kids like to put things in their mouth, And it's, or like, my son like drinks the water in the bathtub. I'm like, no, it's soapy, right? At home.
Yeah.
But you can't do that in Mexico. Like, you will get
Right.
sick,
Right.
And there was just like things like that where it's like we were just always like kind of on edge and like
Mm-hmm.
security wise, we're like, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just, we had this actually awful experience where we were in this like Airbnb, and my daughter, like the school was like, oh, your daughter's getting sick, or
Mm-hmm.
like, and like she must have brought this to us because none of the kids were sick. And we're like, what are you talking about? Like, she's not like, what is happening? She has a cough. Like, kids get cough, but it got worse. And we took her to the doctor, and the doctor's like, there's something like environmental that's causing this. And we're like, what? That's weird. And so we go and like I check her room out, like I don't see anything, and then I move this bed and there's mold in the back of her headboard, like on the wall, like this black mold.
Whoa. Oh
And I,
no.
oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
like this has, like, this is it. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
what's happening. And long story short, there was so much drama, like the most drama I've ever had with like any human ever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're talking about like mold and stuff, where like we were just like, we have got to leave. It is just so like we can't be here. We switched Airbnbs, go to a different route, and just like everything was there was always something wrong. Like,
Mm-hmm.
finally, like, okay, we're gonna just spend a lot of money, go to this like beautiful like condo building where like literally the water's right there. Like, this has to, like, we just have to suck it up and do this and like live out the rest of the month, that we're gonna be
Mm-hmm.
here. And it was a new area and or new building, and the restaurant was on the first floor, and they had this wood fire oven. The smoke was coming up through the building,
What?
through the rooms, through the
Oh
vent.
my God.
And we're just like, what? This is like a ridiculously expensive place. Like, what? And we're just at that point, it was just like, we got to go home.
Yeah.
Like, I, and like my
Right.
kid is like in a smoky room. Are you kidding me right now? Like, and I'm not like, we've had beautiful experiences in this place before, but like I don't know what was going on that trip, and we're just
Mm-hmm.
like, we have to cut our trip short. Like, like it was like, we're done. We're done. Like, this is just not good for anyone. This is not a relaxing any.
No.
So we just like went back. It's just like, this has been ruined now. We're not going back.
Oh my gosh. So I love it. Do you guys have any plans, or have you since lived abroad for a little bit?
We haven't lived abroad, but we've done a lot of trips, especially this year for some reason. We went to Portugal in
Nice.
the summer of last
Hmm.
year. Just came back from Italy in spring. We just came, well, a week ago, we were in Costa Rica.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, with the two kid, well, all of them, two kiddos. So yeah, it's just something that we definitely want to do. And we're thinking about like, we love the United States, but we're always
Hmm.
like, oh, like, good for cultural experience to live in a new place. So we were like checking Costa Rica out for that reason, just to see
Hmm.
what that was like, because we know so many Americans live there.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that is so cool. Um, do you have any like tips or tricks for like traveling with kiddos abroad? I feel like so many people are either like scared to do something, or nervous, or like not wanting to travel with their kids. And it sounds like you guys have like mastered it.
We have not mastered it. We have not mastered it. We have friends that are also scared, where they're legitimately like, we're not going to take our kids abroad
Yeah.
until like five or like fifth grade. You know, um, I think so. Our trips keep on getting better and better.
Hmm.
And it's like planning, but also not having a plan.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, like when we went to Portugal, um, my husband, so he's the planner when it comes to travel. Like
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to our personal life, I let him take the reins because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like my work life is so about like planning and stuff. Like I need to take a break and he's really good at it.
Yeah.
And he like the great thing about our Portugal trip is that we have to, so from Baltimore, we have to drive to DC.
Okay.
And it's about like could be like a little bit more than an hour, and the
Mm-hmm.
flights out of Portugal are late at night. And so like for that one, like he got a hotel in near the airport for like where we stayed for like 4 hours, where we were able to like get dinner, we were able to shower, and then we got
Oh,
on the
nice.
airplane. Like things like
Right.
that, where we knew that like if we're driving kids that are trying to sleep right before we're trying to fly out, like that's going to disrupt
Oh,
their like it's like
yeah.
things like that you have to think about. Snacks, of course, like we've
Mm-hmm.
flown so many times that it's like you can never have enough snacks, right? I think other things it's just like so like our Italy trip, like I was so looking forward to it, and we theoretically had such a good time, but it was probably one of our most stressful trips because like, and I
Wow.
think it was about expectation setting. Like,
Yeah.
so here I am, like I've been there before, like we went to Rome first, like I'm so looking forward to the Colosseum. I remember that as a child, like loving it.
Mm-hmm.
And like to this day, like Roman and Greek mythology, like I love it. So I
Yeah.
was so excited and to show my kids, and like they were the worst. Like,
No.
we don't want to be here. Like, there's too much walking, like all this stuff where I'm like, this is a Coliseum. Like, what is this place? Like, like where you're just like, child, like, why are you ruining this? And it was like, my husband's like, well, you can go and explore these things. I will just take them to a restaurant, and that's not who I am. Like, I'm very
Right.
like, I want to be quality time is like my love language. And so, like, it's not, I don't feel good like being by myself in a foreign country. I want to be with my people. And so, we did that. We went to Florence, which was amazing. But again, it's just like these kids, like, that's the statue of David. No, don't touch it.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, no, like, try not to scream or run around or like, and it's just like, where the highlights of the vacation was really eating because everyone's happy. They're so like Italy is so good with kids. Like everyone has crayons and coloring books and things like that.
Yeah.
But like the highlights were really like eating and then finding this cafe that had like a playground. You know what I mean? And it's just like this is not why we came. Like we came to Italy to eat, yes. But
Yeah.
like, like we went to Venice and it's like be careful, don't fall off the boats.
Of
You
course. Yeah.
know? So it's just like, and when we thought of, so our next trip was Costa Rica, just like 2 months later, and we kind of reshaped our thinking,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
constantly learning. And this time it was like they have a playground, they got to go to playgrounds, and
Mm-hmm.
we did. I mean, in Costa Rica, it's easy, but like, we went to animal preserves where like the walking was like to see animals and sloths and
Right.
jaguars and snakes and it's just like more like we did things we enjoyed,
Mm-hmm.
like we and the beaches, like we did things that
Mm-hmm.
like everyone was excited about. And
Yeah.
that's the thing in Italy too. Like our last day, like my husband did such a good job of planning like one day where it was just like at the beach in Rome. Who knew there was
Mm-hmm.
that existed?
Yeah.
And like that's my daughter's favorite part is
Mm-hmm.
like this kind of dirty beach and like the whole vacation. And so like I think we know now to just like you just have to temper your expectations, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like if you have like if you want to go to museums or you want to do these things, it's like do it on your adult time,
Right.
but like but like I think that I still want to travel with my kids. I just need to like
Mm-hmm.
make that I'm planning it more around things that everyone can enjoy and not just like
Totally.
adults can enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that's such a great tip. And it's so inspiring that you're taking your family and doing that. So, like, thank you because I think, so many people hesitate or don't see that happening in like real life or hear like people that actually do it. So, that's amazing. I love that.
Thank you. We love it.
Yeah. Ugh, so cool. And so tell me about like career, Jessica, because you are like very accomplished and what I have just seen that you're working on right now looks insane. Can you just let us know what you're doing and then kind of how like I don't know, how you balance it all or do it all or juggle all of your responsibilities?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have two things going on right now. So one, I'm the
Mhm.
COO of this accounting firm for creative entrepreneurs. So a lot of that is like running the business and really like taking care of like the internal operations of everything, and then also
Mhm.
just a lot of like client delivery.
Mhm.
The other thing, so I just started earlier this year. It's called Augment Your Business, and it's basically a consulting firm that helps small businesses understand where AI can have the most impact in their business. And
Cool.
then we work with them to really find, like, match it to their business goals and identify, okay, these are where the AI opportunities are, match them with tech partners, software implementers, and then manage the process end to end because like business owners do not have time to do all the things. So like that's what we do for them.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible and so like needed. I feel there are so many people that would absolutely jump at that chance to be involved. So that is incredible.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun. I love AI. Like I'm
Yeah.
throughout my life, I'm definitely the person who like I don't want to stress myself out. And
Mhm.
there are
Mhm.
ways that like I can take that stress off and depend on
Mhm.
something else to do it. Like I
Mhm.
will find it, right? Like
Mhm.
within the means. And so like AI is that thing. Like there's so much stress. Like I will sit. I remember before AI, I would sit and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. And it would take me like 15 minutes to like
Mhm.
construct an email that's like a paragraph, like
Yeah.
things like that, where
Yeah.
it's just like, but now I have AI. Like I can like say exactly what I need. Like I spend like less than like 2 seconds and then it's there. Or like, in business, there's just so many things that take our time that like you repeat them over and over and
Mhm.
again. And there's just little value, but like the cost of human resources is so expensive. And they're doing these like low value things. And so the fact that
Right.
AI is there and can, help with that, alleviate that so that your people are focusing on actual things that matter.
Yes.
Like it's just I don't know. So I nerd out with AI, and then I found a way to merge the two. So my accounting firm too. So I'm doing AI, like internal operations and AI implementation with the accounting firm at the same time, which was what like really
Cool.
inspired me to build this business.
Oh my God. That is seriously so cool. And it's so funny. I really identify with that. I was like telling somebody the other day, I was like, I'm pretty sure AI was invented for me because I'm the same way. I would literally look at an email, I would think about a sentence, I would rewrite it, I would overthink it. And then I'm a really horrible speller on top of it. And it's like, I have been waiting for this. Like, thank you for arriving. I've needed you forever and I'm never going back. back.
Never, never
Never.
like driving a car. Like you just can't. Like you have to
No.
all. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I would do without it. That and my cell phone.
Seriously, I'm like, I use this for everything. Okay, so then you're doing all this stuff. How are you doing it?
Yeah.
How does like Jessica, this like powerful COO, like a founder, all the things, and then also a mother?
Yeah, I think what comes to mind is just community.
Mm,
So, earlier on you asked me about like did I find, what I was looking for in terms of moms and stuff.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
honestly, it was really hard. Even my
Mm-hmm.
husband, there would be times where we're just like all these people, like we're nice people, like all these people are getting play dates. Like how come no one's asked us to, like why is this happening? Or you would see like,
Yeah.
these groups of adults and we're what is wrong with us that we don't have like this group?
Yeah.
And it takes time. And,
Yes.
you know, the school that my daughter, now my son, go to, like, we all live in the city. Um, we're all, obviously, we're parents and we're all busy. And
Mm-hmm.
this group of people, like, what happened was, I became good acquaintances with someone that
Yeah.
like, and I'm always down to go out. And that's the thing. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's like my husband and I were like, we work hard and then we
Mm-hmm.
stop at a certain time and we have this time available. And so like
Mm-hmm.
as long as I'm getting my work done, like I'm available. I'm like, I'm a
Right.
fun, like I want to hang, like with me. And like this person one day was just like, hey, like we were talking about like getting together. My group of friends are getting
Mm-hmm.
together. They're all moms. They're actually all boy moms. Like, um, this is funny because they were the age of my daughter. And she was like, come over. And I came
Yeah.
over and there's these like women, they were drinking, they were having a time, they were, not that you have to drink to have fun, but it was just like a chill fun
Sure.
environment. And they were just so open,
Yeah.
like different than like other people that seemed like
Mm-hmm.
very into their own like
Mm-hmm.
exclusive thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just like welcomed me in with kind of open arms. And it was just like kind of life changing
Mm-hmm.
because like since that, well, that, and then also my husband got like frustrated to a point where he was like, if no one, like if people are inviting us, then like we're going to invite them.
I love
And
that. I love that.
he was just like, like we're gonna, because he's a podcast person. Like he is so like he's always listening. And he was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I like listened to this podcast where they were talking about how this is kind of common, right? People are always
Mm-hmm.
like, why aren't I getting invited to a play date? All these people are doing
Mm-hmm.
things. Like the person was like, if you feel this way, everyone's feeling this way, you have to do something about it, right? And
Yeah.
so members of this like little, we're not Polish, but somehow have this membership of a Polish club. Um, and it's just like this room with a little bar. And we've been to like a
Okay.
birthday
Cute.
before where like you can like kids can come and run around and then like parents can be in a like in the back and like you're
Nice.
fine,
I love
right?
that.
And
Yeah.
so we just started like on Friday nights inviting couples with their kids. And so
Oh.
it was winter time when the playground, it was too dark to be
Yep.
outside. And we just had all these like people that we had, like but didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
every Friday, just our friends started coming. And it was a
Mm-hmm.
great time just for our friends as adults to be adults and our
Mm-hmm.
kids and not have to worry like where they are or like have
Mm-hmm.
sitters or anything. Like they're all in this space,
Mm-hmm.
life changing. And this relates to your question because it's like, and so, because having this community, like it gives us a break. It gives us time to celebrate ourselves. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, oh, my children, Lord, like what is going on? They're like, oh my gosh, we
Mm-hmm.
had issues. Like just
Mm-hmm.
having that, like I can talk to moms and
Mm-hmm.
this and like this 4th of July weekend it was so fun. Like we all went to the beach and like you have like dads in the water like monitoring the kids and like the moms are like
Mm-hmm.
hanging out and talking and
Mm-hmm.
it seems like like for Americans, at least like city
Mm-hmm.
Americans, like so profound. because like in other
Mm-hmm.
cultures, like it is all around about community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in Colombia, they have like their grandmother, their great grandmother, their aunts,
Mm-hmm.
their aunts, like everyone is there. And like with my husband and I, like our parents, like they're as a personality as we are. Like they're in their
Mm-hmm.
own states doing their own things. We are not
Right.
fortunate to have parents that like want to live next to us. Like it's almost a
Right.
struggle sometimes. We don't
Right.
know really many people. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like on Sunday my husband went golfing with the dads and then we went to
Mm-hmm.
the river and floated down with the moms and the kids and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like I look forward to that now.
Yeah.
Which is like total different me from 2020 where I'm like so introverted and now I'm just like I know I need this outlet and I need
Yeah.
to be people not always like caring for my children. Like I need a group, a community where the
Mm-hmm.
kids can be happy and the adults can be happy and we're not necessarily on top of each other all the time.
Oh, I love it. It's so necessary for so many reasons. And you're right. It's so necessary for like us as people to have the connection. It's also like a breather and a break. And then finding like similarities with like challenges that maybe you think you're the only one going through it or somebody that's a little bit ahead of you and you can kind of pick their brain for like the next phase. It's invaluable. And the fact that you guys like took it upon yourself to build it, I mean, that's what you have to do, right? That is exactly what you have to do. If it's not around, you might as well just start it yourself.
Right. And you just, again, I think being a parent can be so isolating.
Yeah.
There's so many things thrown at us, not just like with our
Yeah.
kids, but like decisions we have to make, pressures from society, like, and like mom's expectations and dad's
Hmm.
expectations. And then, wait, this is 2025. Those expectations are all mixed up. And, there's just all this
Yes,
going
they
on,
are. Yeah,
all this
exactly.
going on, and it's just like having people to talk to
Hmm.
and just like, just get away. Like yesterday
Hmm.
or like Wednesday, um, my friend, her husband has like um this like like a therapy and massage like office that's like actually like a row home. And she
Oh, cute.
invited me over there. So it's just like, the two of us and we had like wine and sushi and just like sat and talked. And it's just like
Hmm.
just talking about things like, oh, our sons and daughters are the same age. And it's just like,
Hmm.
oh, I thought my son was just like doing that. Like, why does my son keep on like hurting himself? Or like, why does my
Hmm.
like, or like no longer want to eat that? Or like, whatever it
Yeah.
is. It's like, oh my gosh, my child's the same way. And it's just
Hmm.
like so nice to just like have those conversations.
Oh my God, I love it. I agree. I think it's like so missing too. For you, did you ever have like maybe not an identity thing? And like I know COVID kind of like messed things up, but pre kiddos, you have this life, right? And this hustle and your social life and all of that. And then with kiddos, it's like this whole kind of different mode. Is there a difference? Do you tell a difference? Was there like an identity crisis for you? Like what was that kind of like pre-kiddo, post-kiddo social change like for you guys?
Yeah. Obviously definitely a difference, right? I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think it's possible to not have a difference.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just like what we did with that difference. So, we're both very like our dream in life
Mhm.
is to be at a place where we're just comfortable
Mhm.
and we have help whenever we need it, whether it's
Mhm.
like, like we have someone cleaning our house every other week, but like maybe that's
Mhm.
more constant. Like maybe like
Mhm.
doesn't have to cook all the time. We have someone
Mhm.
to cook occasionally. Like whatever it is within reason, but like at a point that is so comfortable where like we can kind of focus on our dreams and like
Mhm.
we both are very into our work.
Yeah.
Um like we're very we're very driven, like, and that's the thing to me. Like, even when I think I
Mhm.
told you 3 months were enough for me because I was
Mhm.
ready to go back to work after I had
Mhm.
my daughter after 3 months
Mhm.
because it is like my identity is how I am. Like, I see myself as, yes, a mother, and I take,
Mhm.
so important to me, but like, if I'm ever feeling off, it's probably because something's off at work.
Yeah.
And I think it makes sense. Like, I'm here 40 hours. I
Mhm.
have, most of my time is at work. And so
Mhm.
it's important for me that that is right and that is,
Mhm.
it works for me.
Mhm.
And if that falls in place, then everything around me falls in place. And
Mhm.
one thing that was important to me was working 4 days. And so when I joined my company, one of the things that I
Wow.
said was like, if you want me, like, this is like, period. Like, I need to only work 4 days because I need Friday. And having Friday off, it's like, well, like, my kid's school randomly has professional development days,
Of course.
or like, more important to me, like, it's the one time I get to relax because weekends are
Exactly.
no longer relaxing,
Oh my
right?
God. No, you rev up for the weekend. The weekend is the peak. And then Monday happens and you're like, oh, thank God.
Oh my God, it's Monday and my kids could go to school,
Totally.
and I get to work, right? Like, that's the
Exactly.
difference because, like, I
Yeah.
feel like pre-kids, it's like you work.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
like happy hour on Friday, you go, it's the weekend, you can
Mhm.
relax and chill and do what
Mhm.
you want, and then it's Monday and you go. On parenting, it's like
Mhm.
Monday through Sunday with no breaks. And like Monday, you're just like excited to like just have time to stare at a computer all day, right? And
Right. Love that life.
right, like, oh my gosh. And that's not like how we want to live either.
No.
Um,
Yeah, of course.
and so I think that's like the difference where it's just like adjusting that way.
Mhm.
And then also like I think I told you at the beginning, like, we were never that honeymoon couple. We're very independent. And I think that through kids, um, the partnership has become so strong. Like,
Mhm.
every marriage has their issues.
Yeah.
Um, but I think we're kind of in that honeymoon period for the last few years, um, with arguments and all that,
Yeah.
because we're like, we appreciate the roles that each person plays and
Mhm.
understands how like together we're definitely stronger at this parenting thing.
Mhm.
And I have some single parent like friends and I'm just like praise you. Like,
Yeah, I
it
know.
is so hard with two people, and I couldn't imagine
Mhm.
as being a single. But like, I think we've gotten closer post-parenting because we're just like the routines are there. Like, I was a person that was like, routine, like, no way. Like, these parents that are like, oh, like, we have to rush home because it's my kid's nap time. Like, oh my gosh, like, I'm not one of those people. And then now with like, my husband and I, it's just like we have to divide and conquer. Like, he cooks, I do the
Mhm.
dishes. While I'm doing the dishes, he's upstairs putting the kids to bed. And like eight
Yep.
o'clock, we're like, what are we gonna do? Like, is it your own time, or are we like coming together and doing
Mhm.
thing together? And usually I'm like, I just need my own space. But like,
Totally.
it's like figuring that out that's so different.
Oh, yeah, it really is. And I feel like, I feel like it never stops because it's like as soon as you find something that kind of works, it's like something happens professionally that like changes it up, or like my kiddo's now in a different phase and like this now is happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you self-care? And I don't mean self-care like pretend self-care. I mean, how do you like refuel yourself?
Yeah. So in my introverted ways,
Yeah.
um, for me, so this actually it ties back to routine. So it's like finding opportunities to take a break and
Mm-hmm.
give myself like refuel. And so
Mm-hmm.
like even like so there was a point where my husband's like, okay, now that you're not pregnant and our child's older, I should not be doing cooking the dishes and putting in the bed. Like, what are you gonna do? And I'm like, you're right.
Right.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
dishes. He hates doing dishes. I love doing dishes. Why? Because that time I can like listen to an audiobook. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
read, listened to like so many books like in this
Right.
past year because I can just like do dishes in peace. And like it
Mm-hmm.
sounds strange, like self-care is doing dishes, but for me it's like I can listen, I can veg out. I can like read
Mm-hmm.
a book, listen to a
Mm-hmm.
book. So that or like before I had my business, like Fridays were like my day. Like I would find a friend maybe to go to the coffee shop with.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would go to a movie or
Oh,
on
love that.
veg out to Netflix or like
Mm-hmm.
something where like or sleep or just go on my
Mm-hmm.
Peloton for an extra hour or like do whatever it needed to be.
Right.
Now it's harder because I have a business and I use like Fridays, usually to do stuff like that. But that and then again, this community, like self-care could just look like being with my friends, having our kids play together and just like being with my friends and like vegging
Mm-hmm.
out with friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My
Yeah.
gosh. You're beautiful. Your story is so beautiful. Thank you. Literally, just for sharing it. It's so, the goal is just to have real stories from real people that are like in it and doing it. And I just appreciate your authenticity. And I'm so inspired by how you guys are living your lives. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, for serious. And I think so many people are going to listen to this and be like, "Oh my gosh, yes, like we should travel more. Let's build our community. I'm starting a business. More AI." Like that's
Well,
like
yeah.
what's going to happen for people. Yeah. Okay, so what do you think out there in the world, in the ether, do you think is the absolute worst parenting myth and you think that should go away?
Ooh, that's a good
Mhm.
one.
Mhm.
Mm, I don't know. I feel this one's like a little controversial.
Ooh,
Um,
even better. Tell me.
I
Even better.
don't know. Like, so like sleeping. Sleeping is so, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, and there's so many things out there in the world that like they tell you not to do or to do as a mother, especially like after your child's born, right? And the first 12 months is really about keeping that child alive.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so like for me for me to be um a parent of two, to be a somewhat good wife, when I'm not thinking about the kids, for me to be good at work, like for me, sleep is so important. And I like, they're like co-sleeping is like the worst thing you could do. Like you hear that all the time.
Right. You hear
And
like your kid's going to suffocate, you're going to roll over them. Like,
exactly. Like
yes,
all the things, all the
all
things.
the
And
things.
I'm
Yep.
not advocating, like I'm not just like, you know, co-sleep, right? But it worked for me. It worked for
Okay.
me. It
Love
worked for
this.
me. And it was like I know my body. I know my husband's at this point. Like we're not like rolling all over the place. We don't have sleep apnea. Like we like, are very aware. We have a king size bed.
Yeah.
Uh, and I like with my daughter, like I tried. Like we got, we were like, let's be fancy and bougie and get the snoo and like
Of course.
whatever. Like
Yep.
tried really hard to get this child to sleep in like some other thing other than my bed. It did not work. Tried
Mm.
with my son as well. I was like, okay, we won't get the snoo because my daughter hated it. I mean, all our friends have great things to say about it. It just didn't work with us. tried the like a bassinet, you know, I was like, it's so cute, like it matches my like
Mhm.
root. And like
Yeah.
whatever. Tried, did not work. And I'm breastfeeding. Like I breastfed for a year, over a year for both of my kids.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
am like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to like get out of bed, pick up a child, wake them up from their sleep, breastfeed them, put them back down, get back into bed, and like sleep, right? Like my husband, he can go back to sleep. For me, like with so much stimulation, I'm like wide awake, right? And I definitely had a little bit of a insomnia regardless. But for me, it was like breastfeeding in my comfortable bed, like with my baby, you know, like nestled for the cuddles, like it just made sense for me.
Mhm.
Like I'm my boobs right there, my baby's right there, like
Right. Right.
was right there. And like for a year and for both of my kids, and we did this. And I think that like to this day, knock on wood, like they're both such great sleepers. Like we travel so much. They're not dependent on like sleeping in a bed or crib. Like I can time, like sometimes I'll go to DC to go to the Smithsonian museums. Like I can time where like they sleep in, you know, for their nap time in the car for 45 minutes, an hour. They'll sleep and we get up. My kids sleep for like 12 hours at a time. Like I do like of course, I am not a scientist, you know, but
Mhm.
when I talk to other people, like I just feel like something about like, you know, something about that has made them really good at sleeping. And I think it's because it wasn't like so disruptive for like a whole year. Again, that's like totally me, like totally my like non-scientific brain, but both of my kids are like that. And so that would be like I don't know, a myth that we might want to look into more. And I guess I would say because like, you know, I've read all the things and I think like especially in America, as we just discussed with like food
Yeah.
poisoning, like I
Yeah.
we're super sensitive where it's like science like what we tell people is to cover a wide like
Mhm.
population of kids.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
they don't want to say anything wrong because there could be someone that's more vulnerable where like they might
Mhm.
be more you know, SIDS might be something that's you know that they
Mhm.
might right. So we want to give this like broad thing. But like if you go to other countries, it's like not that way. Like people
Right.
co-sleep most of the world. Like there's like you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
I would say all that to just say that like do your own research, follow like really what's like true to you, and also like look not just like within our own little bubble, like try to
Yeah.
like, you know, think about it globally. And like kids have been on this earth forever, like, and in other
Right.
countries, and like there has to be something right with some of these things, you know.
Oh my gosh, Jessica, that is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. And I think that's such a good myth and something that you've said, like a through line for you in this whole convo. And I don't even know if you know this, but like it's trusting your body and yourself, right? So if you're knowing, like, hey, this is my feeding journey, this is who I am as a person, I need sleep, this is how I need to function in the world as a healthy person, these priorities are important to me, and then finding that sweet spot that works for you. That's so cool. I love it. And so great. Like, I think, you know, again, you're being such a beautiful example of like saying, like, hey, co sleeping worked for me.
Right.
She's right here. Your babies are right here. Everybody's good. Everybody, you know, survived. So that's awesome. I think you're right. I think there is something about, I also think there's something about the baby themselves being connected and so physically close to the parent during that time that I wonder, not a scientist over here, but I wonder if that also gives them the confidence to have that deep of a sleep or that sleep where they can kind of be anywhere, feeling like so safe and,
Right.
easy to be in those environments. I love that. Crazy. Good one. Love that. Okay, if you could sum up parenting in one word, what would it be? I know.
Oh my gosh. The first word that came to my mind was learning.
Oh, I love that.
Learning.
Okay, why? Expand.
Because like every day you're learning something different. So one thing for me is like organic food, fresh water. Like it's like so
Yes.
important to me. And my husband like did not under like he's also like he's probably naturally more healthy than I am, but like he didn't understand like the organic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and this is how I grew up abroad where it's just like everything happens to be like most things are organic because like we don't put all these chemicals and stuff like that. And I think in
Right.
this country, like it makes sense to have non-inorganic food because that helps most of the population. But I don't necessarily think it's like the healthiest. Like I want
Mm-hmm.
my food to be free of chemicals. I want
Right.
my food to, be as fresh as possible. And so like the learning part, like for him, like I was like, it was such a thing that I was just like, come on, like let's learn more about it together. Let's like just understand it more. And he started digging deeper. And then now he's on like the organic train. And like we love going to Costco. They have like so many different
Oh my
like
God. Yes.
like
Yes.
crazy. Like how does this
Yeah.
like and it's like learning together where like for him he has to experience it for himself and like
Mm-hmm.
he like seeing that there's so many options and yes it's more expensive but like you go to places like Costco and it can be like more affordable and
Yep.
like just like going learning it's like a learning adventure through like different
Mm-hmm.
like that. And that's like such a random example, but like just like I think a more obvious example is just like your kids. Like they're constantly growing. Like 1 minute they like something, 2 weeks later you're like, I could have sworn you like sweet potatoes. Like why are you not like liking sweet potatoes now? I
I
just
know.
made this whole thing of sweet potatoes because you love, you know, and it's just like learning like how to pivot and like how to
Yeah.
not get frustrated and yeah, just constantly learning all the time.
Ugh, I love it. It's so true. Where in your world, Jessica, are you crushing it? Are you just like, I have got this down. I am thriving.
Um, I mean, every day seems like chaos. It's hard to say. Um, but I would say I think we have found a good balance of
Mm,
like, again, so lucky we both work from home. My kids, are in a school, which, oh my gosh, she's transitioning to a new school, so that'll be ask me again in
oh no.
September. But for
Yeah.
like the balance of like work and then relationship. Um, something I didn't talk about was like therapy, like having
Oh,
that for both of us, like that's
wow.
helped. So it's like, and that's self-help too that I didn't talk about. So it's just like the balance of the therapy, like time for ourselves. Like my husband, like he'll make time in his schedule to go and like play tennis with a friend in the middle of the day.
Hmm.
Having that flexibility, having a space where we're like our kids are safe, having that community where like, I think it's just the balance of all of those things are like right now, like perfect.
Mm, that
And
is
the way they can
so beautiful. Right, right. Yes, yes. Yeah. And then I think that quest to find that balance, I mean, yes, that is definitely something to be really excited and proud of. Okay, I know we're closing out, but now I need to ask you. For you guys, was therapy always something that you did, or was this something that you sought out at a certain time in your lives?
yeah. Um, for me, I've always like my mom's talked about wanting it. Like it was always
Mm-hmm.
something like she just never had time for. So like since I was
Mm-hmm.
a kid, she was like, oh, like goals are to have like therapy. And it was like never like this like weird like,
Mm-hmm.
thing that like you shouldn't do. Like I came up in a household where like discussion was free, and like, you talk through your things. And so it's something I always wanted to do like as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And then, being in DC and political climate and stuff like that, that's really when I had first started, just to kind of process everything going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I like we went abroad, like no one was in therapy, and then having
Mm-hmm.
kids, it was like I needed, and at the time I didn't feel like I had anyone to talk to. It's hard, like, I want to
Mm-hmm.
talk to my husband and share all these things, and he's like, "Oh, you're too emotional," or like whatever it was, and I
Yeah.
didn't want someone telling me that, right? And
Yeah.
I wanted to make sense of all the things that was going on. And even marriage, right? We were uh like with kids, this new thing, like maybe we need marriage therapy because we're like, at each
Mm-hmm.
other a little more than we would like. And then we decided, like, actually, like, in order to get better at this marriage, we kind of need to work on ourselves. And he
Yeah.
actually said that. And so, like, he started, individual therapy, and then, like, I copied him. And it's just been like a coach. And so like
Yeah.
I've evolved from I have a therapist, and now I also have like a life coach
I love
because
it.
I love it so much. Like as you can see, I can talk forever. So like just having someone to talk to, and like kind of a business therapist, like someone to
Yeah.
like ask you questions, or like my life coach, he's kind of amazing, and he'll be like, he's also like a psychologist too by trade, but he's retired.
Mm-hmm.
But he has like all these like tips and tricks, like how to breathe, and like,
Mm-hmm.
how to think about work differently. And where he'll be like, why do you feel this like pressure to like, do this stuff right now? Like, why don't you take a break? And like having people
Yeah.
kind of like cheerlead you and talk through, and like
Yeah.
I think that's been really helpful in our lives.
I love that you're putting that in part of your like balance.
Yeah, and also like, so again, we're like the similar age. I had my daughter when I was 38. So like we're just like at a different level, I
Yeah.
think, when you're at this age. And like for us, like my husband and I are like we don't want to mess up our kids. And like how like they always,
I
it's like
know.
parents that mess up the kids. Like we are the way we are because our parents were like crazy or something.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Yes.
like so like my husband and I are always like that. We're like, okay, how do we not repeat the same mistakes? Like we're going to, we know, but like how do we like ease that off? And I think like
Mm-hmm.
therapy has been like a good way to like talk through those things and to understand some of those things. And like, okay, like I never thought about like my mom, like at her age, and like where she
Right.
was, like literally in foreign countries. And like, okay, I could see why that was stressful. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Taking time to like understand the parents, and how
Yeah.
that, has impacted our lives. And, to not use that as a crutch, and to, yeah, that's
Yes.
been helpful too.
I know. Our little kiddos are lucky. We're doing all the work.
All the things we try.
We
Try.
try. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm sure you think this when they are our age, like I have no idea what the world will look like and what in the world we're preparing them for because it's completely unknown with even what will happen like next month,
Right. Next week, tomorrow.
next week. I know. Seriously. It's so wild. Ugh, well, Jessica, seriously, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Thanks for listening to It's a Circus. If today's episode made you feel a little less alone, share it with a friend who might need it too. We are building something amazing at the Turner Brothers Circus, an entire space designed for parents to find connection, laughter, and support. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Remember, you're doing better than you think. Stay grounded, stay real, and embrace that beautiful mess. And as always, the show must go on. Until next time.